Okay, the next subject we can speak volumes about, and I've never seen anyone who's reached the pinnacle, and the subject is prayer. So for a Jew, first of all, we're based on a premise that there's a God, and that God created everything, and God gives us everything. So God is infinite, and who would we be praying to if there wasn't? So a person can go from level to level in this subject of prayer. And the question in Judaism is whether we should do it communally or alone. And it's always better to do it communally, with all things being equal. And there's a protection in the numbers of people for someone who isn't worthy, and we know that 10 or more men give that person a protection. So once we prayed freely, without prayer books, and people were able to give over their words, and they were on a level that they could say whatever was in their heart. However, as time went on, they found out the mind wanders, and people didn't keep that level, and they lost their focus. So what we want to do is keep focus. So as time went on, great spiritual masters in the Jewish tradition put the prayers down in words, and this helps us to keep our focus. In prayer, for the Jew, it seems that God wants us to be real. He doesn't want us to be fake. And if we just give lip service to prayer, it's just not accepted. So we're requested to put our heart into it, to put our strength into it, to speak with sincerity and truth, to be bold and daring, and in the meantime maintain a humility so that we are basically like a child in front of the Creator. There's always a question of quantity versus quality, and it's a difficult balance. But but really, whatever we do, we want our heart to be put into it. Now a Jew is asked to pray in the original language. That language, of course, is Hebrew, and that gives a power and a connection to the spiritual realm. Of course, if one can't speak Hebrew or read in Hebrew, then God understands every language, and we could talk on our own. We could use our own language and our own requests or praise. And so if that's what it is, then that's one way to do it. Now the question comes up about prayer, whether a person can change nature. And this is a very difficult question. Some say that one can change nature, and other people, and great scholars, say that really what you change is yourself. And it's not actually what you ask for that you get from the outside, but when you change yourself, then you're able to change your whole perspective, and things can definitely happen. And that, in a sense, is the purpose in the connection with God, that you change yourself. Now, there are a couple of different orders to prayer. In the beginning, especially for the major prayer, which is the 18 or 19 benedictions, it's called Shemona Esrei. The first part is praise. The second part is asking for specific things, and the third part is basically connecting with the greatest force. And if you think about it, when you go to someone and you want to ask them for something, first of all you praise them. Second of all, you can ask them for what you wish. So it works that way. And some say it's good to ask for those things. Other people say we should pray without any ulterior motive. And I think it's just a question of different levels. That if that's without any ulterior motive is just a much higher level. But we just have to be at the place where we are. Now there are 4 different categories of creation on this earth. One is the inanimate, which is rocks or the earth. The second is vegetative, which is trees and plants. The third is the animal kingdom, and the fourth is man. And the description for man is not man, but it's one who speaks. In Hebrew it's called midaber. And we see that man has power in his speech. And the highest form of speech is prayer. It's when we speak the words. And it's not enough just to think the words, but when we say the words so that our mouth says it and our ears hear it, then we become the ultimate of who we really are. And so in a sense, prayer is a domain of man, whereas no other domain has this prayer. And in closing, I want to say that the word for prayer in Hebrew is tefillah, and the word for in Hebrew of petilah means a wick, W-I-C-K. And if you think about a wick, you stick it in oil, and then you light the top, and the oil is sucked up through the wick, and provides the oil provides the ability to form a fire with a match. And it's that wick which is a connector between the oil and the fire. So man, when he does tefillah instead of petilah, when he does prayer instead of being a wick, he connects the physical realm with the spiritual realm. And that in essence is our place, to act as a wick. And the beauty of this example is that we're able to see that and understand it. And so we should all be blessed to act as a connector between the physical and the spiritual. So this is Avraham Moskowitz of Tehillim Cards, and I'm asking you to become active in the biggest game in town, in becoming who you can really be by bringing your spiritual aspect to its optimum.